Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg. Today, we're playing a little 7 Days to Die. I did a variety stream with this a while back when I was looking for another kind of survival game for some friends and I to play. And at the time, I wasn't overly impressed. God damn it. Just like spending an hour and a half with it or something like that. On my own. It wasn't like a perfect way to experience the game. But eventually, we did end up picking it up together. And now, I'm really into it. It's actually a really fun game. It's, in a lot of ways, basically like Minecraft and Fallout just slapped together. It's got sort of like the voxel kind of thing going on, and the building and stuff like that of Minecraft. But it's got the sort of aesthetics and the scavenging and things and gunplay of Fallout. And it's really just been an entertaining mashup, especially because you get vehicles and stuff, and you can, you know, set up your base, because there's like these big zombie raids occasionally, and you can have turrets going, and yeah, overall I've just been really digging it. Just like scavenging all these buildings and locations. It's not procedurally generated, like the world is not. I think you can have it be, I guess, but by default you get this like preset world. And it's big. I mean, it's a big place. I've gone out sometimes roaming around. It's just like, holy shit, look at how many buildings and locations there are out there. And it's not meant to be like a Bethesda RPG. There's not like all sorts of NPCs out there with side quests and a main story. You know, it's not like that. It's meant to be more of a survival simulator. There are some NPCs, traders, that you can get little side quests from, but those are kind of procedurally generated and meant to just be done hundreds of times. But it's really nice, like, that you can just, like, if I wanted to, I could just, like, destroy this entire building. You know, you can just, like, go up to it and start just, like, hacking away at it, and just, you know, like, it's all destructible. It's pretty cool. So if you want, you can just construct your entire base from scratch, which is what we're doing. Or you can just take an existing building and just start modifying it and build off of it. Yeah, it's pretty good. Our little ramshackle base that is certainly not ready for another blood moon. Originally, when I set up the server, I misunderstood one of the settings, and I thought...
I need some commissions.
Oh, I would kiss you, but
The name's
I
Jenny.
knew you had it in you.
oh, a beaker. Beaker's pretty good, but then again, lever action rifle. Yeah. So yeah, you just get like these procedurally generated quests that are just like fetch an item in a building that spawns, or clearing out zombies from an area, stuff like that. And some stuff is only available at night.
I would. Thanks, son. I knew you wouldn't let me down.
What was I talking about? Right, so I misunderstood it, because in Ark, Ark had just, like, loads of different settings that you could set for your server. And you could change, like, how long it takes day to pass and how long it takes night to pass. And none of us were really interested in, like, nighttime gameplay. So we made it so that the night passed in, like, a minute. Whereas day then took, like, a few hours to pass. So the gameplay was almost entirely during the day. So I thought the same thing was in this game, because I misunderstood a setting. But, so what I set it to, what I thought, was, like, nighttime passed 3 times as quick. That's what I thought. What it ended up being, though, was a 24-hour cycle passed 3 times quicker than normal. Which ordinarily wouldn't mean much, except in this game, every 7 days, there's a blood moon. And the blood moon causes just this massive horde of zombies to just assail your location in this big raid. And that happens every 7 days, hence the title of the game. And so what was happening then is that all the days and nights were going by 3 times faster than normal. So our days went by real quick. And we just didn't have chance to do a whole lot before the first blood moon. And then before the next blood moon. And then before the next blood moon. So 3 blood moons went by, like 21 days, before I was like, this seems off. And so then I looked up the settings and all that, and I realized what I had done wrong. And so now I've changed it to days and nights go by twice as slow as normal. So it's like a 6 times speed difference from what we had. And I'm not going to leave it on there. I just want us to give a chance to catch up for a few days. But yeah, overall, really fun stuff. I just like I like the grind. I like slowly upgrading my shit and scavenging and hoping to find some rare find. I mean, that's great. Because it's like Fallout, except Fallout... Well, if you play modded Fallout, you could probably get it sort of close to this, where rare finds are really rare and make you feel awesome and make you feel like, alright, now I can kick some ass. But by default, like Fallout 4 is a pretty easy game. Whereas here at the start, I mean, taking on more than one zombie at a time, you're gonna get your butt fucked. Looking for a scope that I know I have. Someone needs to go through all this and organize it. And that does not sound fun to me. I just bring all the loot in. I don't have to organize it. There's a scope in here somewhere. There it is. Have I seen any of Peacemaker? If you like James Gunn, it's definitely worth it. It's obviously giving him a lot of freedom with it. I want to give it a watch. I'm planning on checking it out. Because it did look pretty wild. But yeah, you know, any sort of show just takes me a while to finally start getting into. As I sit here just watching, like, old Spoonie videos for however many countless times. Thought I had some other mod, but maybe not. Eh? Nope, 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 nope. Oh, I have a magazine extender mod. That might be good. Nope, doesn't work on this. I guess because lever action. Okay, I guess it's not a magazine. It's like a tube loader. Oh, of course, still loads in like 3 rounds, even though it's a 5-round tube, when I only fired 1. Realism. Anywho. Yeah, I want to check out Peacemaker. It looks pretty wild and raucous. And I do like James Gunn. And actually, you know, I don't mind John Cena. So, and I definitely liked the character in Suicide Squad. So, yeah, should be pretty good. Started cheating on reading the Stormlight Archive novels by getting the audiobooks. You don't have time to read, so you listen to them driving. Yeah, I guess that's sort of like an argument that some people make, that like listening to an audiobook is not actually reading a book. It's not the same. I don't listen to audiobooks, and I have in the past when I used to work like a normal job. I would listen to them while working, like Lovecraft stuff. And it was fine, but generally no. I have time to read, and I prefer to actually read a book, but I don't think it's cheating as long as you're paying attention. Like, if it's just like background noise that you just have on for like 8 hours, and then later you say like, oh yeah, I read War and Peace. Like, no, you didn't. You really didn't. But if you're just sitting there like driving and you have nothing else going on, and I mean, obviously you're gonna likely be paying attention to it. I don't really see a difference. Especially as someone that, like, occasionally records audiobooks, obviously I approve of it. So, but yeah, it's a great series. I can't imagine how long those audiobooks are. God. It's got to be hours and hours. Anyway, so this week on this channel, we had Castlevania. We finished Lament of Innocence, sort of. We saw an ending, at least. Like 40 hours, yeah, God. Like, recording Mountains of Madness took forever. I was just sitting there in front of a microphone for hours and hours. So I can't imagine, like, actually sitting down recording. But they have, like, studios, and the voice actor doesn't have to edit it. Usually. They just, like, come in, and they probably give themselves a lot of time, so you just come in, like, a couple times a week, or I don't know. I assume those recording sessions are not as long as, like, my recording sessions are. But, yeah, still, a lot of work goes into those, no doubt. Anywho. How's that gonna miss? Got him. Yeah, so Lament of Innocence, done. And we moved on to Order of Ecclesia. I will spoil it for you now. Order of Ecclesia is only 3 videos long. yeah, I'm just gonna spoil it for you. It was just not my thing. I think it's possible I'll go back to it on my own and just give it, like, more time, but it seems just very grindy and difficult, and yeah, I don't know. It reminds me of, I don't remember the name of it. That other, like, sort of 2D Metroidvania game that I played, started with an E, that I didn't finish. Just, like, not really worth the stress. Fuck you. Cool art direction inclusion, nice looking creatures. It's a great looking game. I mean, yeah. And, like, the actual, like, gameplay and everything, like how it feels and all that, like, it's really good. And I was really pumped going into it, but yeah, the difficulty just sort of slammed into me. Ender Lilies, that was it, yeah. And that was, I mean, Ender Lilies was a well-made game and all that. It's just like, I started just butting heads with the difficulty on some bosses, and I was like, eh. I've got other games I'd rather play. Look at that, nice. So yeah, Ecclesia is only 3 videos, just gives you a taste of it. And then we move on to Lords of Shadow, of which I have precisely 1 video recorded so far. Sit down. Yeah, I recorded 1 video and I wasn't, like, blown away with how much fun I was having, so I just set it aside for now, and I've been playing other things. But it's not terrible. Yeah, like, early on, this game's really tough when you just have, like, a little primitive bow that you can barely shoot, and, a spear, like a stone spear. But once you start getting into the firearms, and you have all the ammo you could want, it's, it gets easier. Oh, shit. Fuck you. No scope. Lord of Shadow is good. Only DLC for it has any relation to Castlevania. Still convinced Star's a different game. Well, it has not much relation to Castlevania because it's meant to be like a reboot of the whole lore, the whole storyline. I don't know why they would really do that, but to be fair, they've gone through like 16 games by that point, and the timeline is pretty cramped and sort of all over the place. Not necessarily bad, but it is filled. So I guess they just wanted to start fresh and give it a new pass, but it doesn't seem like it worked too well because no one acknowledges the new canon, and the anime, you know, just goes with the original canon and all that. So yeah, I could definitely see it as just like, you could slap like any sort of generic theme onto that, and it's just like, yeah, you're killing werewolves and, you know, you're fighting all sorts of demonic folklore creatures and all kinds of things. But it seems like a fine game, like nothing too offensive so far. I will see what you mean. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I've only recorded 1 episode. So, anyways, yes. Order of Ecclesia, a few videos of that, then Lords of Shadow. And we also have Cataclysm going on, which is the Iron Chef run currently. Which is going... It's a good run. It's a fun run. It is all finished. And after the Iron Chef run... I think... I don't want to misspeak here. I'm not sure if I had another full run after that. Oh! There was the Dr. Wily run. The Dr. Wily run was not really a full run, because I realized fairly quickly that it was going to be essentially impossible. With the goal that I had set and the restrictions I had set, it was just not going to work. But it was a fun few videos. I've been playing the new Dying Light. Yes, I have it. I started it. It seems very solid. But for the time being, I only have time for one sort of zombie exploration game. And right now I'm into this. So I have not put a great deal of time into Dying Light 2, but it seems good. But yeah, oh man, so many games coming out. It's getting ridiculous now. Now we're in the crazy season. Because early access starts on Tuesday for Lost Ark, which is a game that I've been really hyped for. That's the Korean sort of Diablo MMO that I did the Russian beta, or Russian... It wasn't a beta. I played the Russian client on Variety Stream a while back. Super hyped for that. This is the US release finally, and so early access for that starts on Tuesday. We're not going to do it on the Variety Stream because we're going to finish House of Ashes, but yeah, I'm really excited for that. And then we've got like Horizon, the Horizon sequel coming out soon this month. We've got Elden Ring coming out this month. Other things were there. Those are the big ones, though. I'm not doing a Let's Play of the Horizon sequel. That's just, a big open world game. I'm just gonna do that on my own. I know that's disappointing, but the main reason is because I originally started an LP of the first game, and we abandoned it because I wasn't really feeling it. And then later I came back to it on my own, and I had a blasty blast just playing on my own. So I'm just going to skip a step this time and just start it on my own. But we will be doing an LP of Elden Ring, of course. And that is going to be nuts. I don't know anything about it. I think you get a horse. I think it's sort of open world. That's about all I know. So, pretty hyped for Elden Ring. Yeah, so House of Ashes was our video, or stream on Wednesday. And that was, pretty cool. Pretty cool so far. I mean, at least for the first half, I would say it's the best, Dark Pictures game so far. Which seems in line with what reviews were saying. We should finish that then on Wednesday. On Two Brothers Play, we did some more Symphony of the Night. Lego got to experience the fake-out ending, one of the hallmarks of the Castlevania franchise. And he thought we were done, but we're not done. We are going to do the second half of the game now in the inverted castle. We went very long. It was, well, I think maybe our longest stream ever. But we managed to both get into the inverted castle, so next week we're going to be starting together at the exact same spot, which is kind of crazy. I did not expect that. But Lego's been cheesing his heart out, so he's been holding on. So that's all good. I don't know what we're going to play next after Symphony of the Night. There's been talk of doing Stardew Valley together as an actual co-op experience. But I very randomly brought up Roller Coaster Tycoon last night. And how it would be kind of cool to do sort of a side-by-side thing of that. And Lego's on board with that, so that's good. And I thought, I haven't played Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 in quite a while, but I recall there being like sort of like challenge maps or challenge scenario, like different scenarios where they had some sort of unique condition as part of the map or as part of victory and things like that. So I thought it'd be cool to just like do a challenge between us, or we both try and do one of those scenarios, see who does better. But we shall see. It's an organizational nightmare. Whatever, just put it all somewhere. It'll get sorted. Double pocket. Good. Good. Yeah. There. Sure, there. Okay, yeah. So, pipe bomb. I thought I had pipe bombs somewhere. There we go. What else? I think that's it for this channel. Do believe that's it. Well, so Castlevania stuff will continue, Cataclysm stuff will continue. Elden Ring doesn't come out until I want to say the 18th.
Congratulations.
I am so glad to
I
see
can
your
make my
face.
payment to the
I
Duke
get
now.
lonely sitting by myself all day.
So, for now, business as usual. Pretty good, but I don't use sledgehammers, so I guess the antibiotic.
I've got a bit of a problem. Oh, this is a dangerous one. Try not to, get radiated.
Okay.
Remember me if you need medical supplies.
Over on the Exploring series, I released a video collection of cannons explored. Despite sort of the rough early reviews that referred to it as cluttered and meaningless, overall, the opinion on the video is fairly positive, and the views were pretty good. So I can't complain. It seems that, yeah, a lot of people didn't know much about any of those cannons. And, we're glad to hear about them. So, you will see standalone videos about many of those cannons at some point in the future. Like I said a long time ago, I was worried for a while that I was going to run out of video ideas or video concepts or SCPs. I no longer have that worry, because there's just a never-ending stream of new stuff and new ideas. What the fuck? So that's good. And then this week, I worked on a big boy. I worked on SCP-4700. The sequel to SCP-3700, which I discussed in the more aquatic SCPs video. So people aren't gonna have to wait too long to hear how that one ends. And, yeah. I mean, if you thought SCP-3700 was crazy with, like, two giant aquatic entities battling it out, 4700 is nuts. $4,700 is like if you had the movie Aquaman. But instead of focused around some Aquaman character, you had, like, the SCP Foundation swoop in with tactical teams and things like that. I mean, it's crazy. Giant crabs. Fish people. Evil centaurs. Massive biomes of, like, mountains and plains and stuff inside of a giant crab. Giant cities inside of a giant crab. Big dragons. And then the Foundation sending in, like, jets in the shape of, like, hammerhead sharks to battle the dragons. It's just fucking nuts, man. It's also long. It's over an hour. It took a lot more work than I thought it was going to be this week, but hey, it's done. So, yeah, I hope people like it. It's definitely, like, more anime SCP than the usual fare. So if you're not interested, I mean, there's big jets taking on big dragons. I mean, if you don't like that, then it's not for you. I mean, gotcha, bitch. What are you doing, Al? Al Borland? Kapow! And then you just pop this fool. Kapow! Feels good. So yeah, SCP-4700. It's a wild ride. I hope people like it. Took a lot of work. And I don't know what next week's video is. I haven't looked at the polls, so it'll be a surprise to us all. Yeah. Chrono Trigger. Because this 4700 video became this massive endeavor this week, I really did not have much chance to work on Chrono Trigger Episode 2. I think last week I said that the script was at the point where we were just getting the Wings of Time, the epoch. Right now, the script is at the final side quests. We just did the Sunstone quest as the first one. So we're on the side quests before doing the Black Omen and then beating the game. So still not like close to being done, but getting there. It's possible I could finish it this week if I really crammed. But I don't know. It'll depend on the SCP video I'm doing. If that one's easy, then it's a better chance. So that's what's going on with the Exploring series. Business as usual, I suppose. Weapons bag, huh? Nice, nice. A Magnum. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting a Magnum. What else? Okay, so yesterday we had a game day. We finally got around to playing 1830 Railways and Robber Barons. Fuck you, bird. So after hyping it up for weeks, actually, it was the opposite. I don't think I did any hyping of it because I've never played an 18XX game like the, you know, based around stocks and railroad companies and things like that. It's a whole big genre. It's got plenty of fans. Pump shotgun schematic. Yeah. My day has been made. It's a popular genre. I've never played it, but I wanted to get into it because it's like, this seems like a big, stupidly like complicated, dry game about stocks, and that sounds right up my alley. The magic realm of train games. So all I had was just like the rule book to read, and it's like I was sending them screenshot or pictures of the rule book, and it's dry, man. It's dry as a desert. It's basically written up like a giant legal document. The game is from 1986. It's not a modern design. So it seemed rough going in. I mean, none of us were really that hyped about playing it. And I was like, I think I can teach this game, but I really have no idea how it's going to go. I have no idea what this game plays like. So let's hope for the best. It's probably going to take us like 7 hours to play. So yeah, we sit down and I start explaining it, and it's just like, I'm just like throwing words out there, you know, and they're receiving the words, but I don't know if there's any sort of real comprehension. But luckily I have a good game group. They're all pretty smart people. So it wasn't like, I knew we would get it. I knew we would get it. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And it's big. I mean, you've got 6 players. You've got 8 railroad corporations that everyone can control. You've got multiple like stock rounds where you're buying and selling stock in the 8 corporations. And then it's like, okay, well, if enough stock of each corporation has been purchased, then that company is now floating so that they can operate during the operation rounds. And then it's like there's Going to be between 1 to 3 operation rounds throughout the game, depending on what phase we're in, and there's 7 different phases. And during the operation round, the president of each company, if the company has been floated, gets to operate by laying down track, purchasing new railway stations, running their train routes, and purchasing new trains. And there's like 6 different types of trains you can buy throughout the game, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it goes on and on. I don't think it's as complicated as Magic Realm, and I think there's very little as complicated as Magic Realm, but it is dense and it is dry, so yeah, it takes some effort to get into. But we all thought it was way more fun than any of us thought it was going to be. So, yeah, it was pretty good. Once you start understanding, like, all the different decisions on the table and what you can all do, it gets pretty interesting. Because a lot of times you'd think, like, okay, I want to be the president of a company. That has to be the best thing you can do, the most lucrative. But it's really not necessarily the most lucrative, because you have to invest a lot into your own company. As far as, like, you have to hold the majority of the shares to be the president of the company. And that means that you don't have that many resources left over to invest in other people's companies. And really the most lucrative is being invested in as many of the good performing companies as possible and ditching any of the unperforming companies. And so that brought up discussions like, okay, you're the president of this railway company. What are your prospects? I mean, are you going to be paying dividends in the near future? I mean, what's your expansion plans? What sort of trains do you have? You know, it's like, how successful is your company? Because that's going to determine if I buy shares of it or not. Now, what I wish is that there would be some incentive, or a greater incentive, from a company's president perspective, to have people buy shares of your company. The president doesn't really get much if other people own his shares. It's not like he gets income from it. And I wish there was more incentive to be the president, because what ended up happening was, like, me and one other person, we each had 5 shares of a company. We each owned 50% of the company. But due to the way the rules work, since he was the president before me, he was the president and I was not, even though we had an equal share. Being the president of a company meant that you ran all the operations of the company. You made the decisions about where the track goes and where, like, buying trains or not, and where to place stations and stuff like that. And you also made a decision about whether to pay out dividends to your shareholders, including yourself, or to invest any money you make back into your own company for operating costs. That's it. The president did not make a single cent more than I did, because we had equal shares. And so really, I was like, dude, you can keep the presidency, because I don't really want to make all those decisions, and I'll just collect my money, same as you. And so I played most of the game without any presidencies, without running any companies, and I was just an investor in multiple corporations that were doing well. And that's how I won, by just making a lot of money. So the only incentive, the only reason to be the president of a company is you get to basically play more of the game. You get to make decisions. Whereas if you don't, you just sit there for about half the game, collecting money. I still had fun, even though I wasn't president, because I I got to, like, you know, observe what everyone was doing, and, like, you know, it's fun to count your cash. But yeah, we all enjoyed it, even though we didn't actually finish the game. We ran out of time, some people had to leave, and it's just not, like, sort of a game you can just cut out one player and keep going, because there's just no easy way to divide up their assets and things like that. So we're just like, all right, fuck it, it's over. And we tallied up, and I was the winner. So we all liked it, but at the end, we just shoved everything back into the box without any sort of organization, because we're like, we're probably never going to play this game again. It just takes so long. And I think now that we have a better handle on it, it would be faster, but at the same time, there are other big, massive games we also like playing that take similar amounts of time. And by the time we get around to wanting to play 1830 again, none of us will really remember it, and then it'll be a whole rigmarole again that we have to set aside a whole Saturday for, and it's just like, So, it's possible to play it again, but I don't know. But I may look into some other modern version of 1830. What the fuck? Oh my god! That's like animal fucking cruel. Actually, it's not cruel. That's about as least of a cruel death as you can get. So yeah, it was a pretty good Saturday. So yeah, then this week we're all in on Magic the Gathering, baby. We've got Magic Mondays set up. It's possible it'll be Magic Monday and Magic Thursday. I mean, the ride is never ending now. We've got people all aboard. We've got my newbie cube set up for some drafting, and it's going to be good. So I'm excited for that. There's apparently another zombie in here, and I have no idea, and it's not marking it on my map, and I hate it. I will tear this house apart to find you, zombie. Ugh. Yeah, that's about it. I would give you further updates on the dating scene, if there were any further updates on the dating scene. Sometimes it's just, a drought. You know. Takes time. Takes time, and I'm not really in a hurry, so no big rush. But alright, I guess that's about it. I don't know where this... Oh, I found him! How did I never go down here? How did I never go down here? Stupid zombie. Yeah, so check out, let's see. Castlevania Order of Ecclesia and Lords of Shadow this week. I don't think we'll get to Lords of Shadow this week, but soon. Some more Cataclysm stuff. House of Ashes, the second half on Wednesday. Some more Symphony of the Night on Saturday. Over on the Exploring series, we have SCP-4700. Big, epic underwater adventure. Over an hour. And Chrono Trigger Part 2 sometime. Sometime. Glorious, glorious loot. Alright. I will leave it off here then. My name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. I'll see you fine folks next week.